The following program is made possible by the partners of Honor Grace Consulting. Yahweh TV and Matamba Power Facebook profile accounts. Assume no responsibility or liability for opinions shared on this program. Thank you.
Well, hello. Welcome back to Global Symposium's broadcast this week. I'm Thiess Dumbuya, and I thank you for joining the broadcast. Today, I do have with me a couple of apostles, and they are also doctors, and I have invited many of them to join me this morning to offer what they want to say about technology's dangers and what we are facing as a human population worldwide. Let me welcome Apostle Dr. Roland from Cameroon. How are you this morning, sir? The floor is yours. Please speak whatever's on your mind about technology.
Good morning, Apostle Thiess, and so good morning to the viewers. It's a very great opportunity for me to come here again today. And we've been talking about this in the Global Symposium, this program, and sharing our great views of what it is about the internet, the artificial intelligence, and also what technology is, and looking at the dangers. You know, sometimes many people don't understand when we come with subject like this about technology, because it's the same technology that we are using now to give out this valuable information. So there is a lot that is happening today because people have misused the real purpose of what the internet or the technology is supposed to be. Now, I want to draw an inspiration from the Word of God before I lay up a foundation in what I want to say. There is nothing that is created without a creator. Nothing is created without a creator. The first thing is, who created the technology? Where did this person have the idea? What was the purpose of coming out with the artificial intelligence? Now, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. When purpose is not known, we walk in a place where destruction will be the end of the end product. So purpose define what we are called to do and why we are doing what we're doing. So one of the reasons why we are here today is to enlighten and to give light to the nation, to government, to communities, the danger entails in the internet and the artificial intelligence. Because the purpose why it was created is being abused. Now, man created this system to be as a help to facilitate information, to facilitate communication. But I want to tell you that there are many things that this very system has done to personal individuals, have done to corporation, have done to health, that we must say it. Now, the problem with the technology is the abuse and what Satan is using to destroy the original purposes of God in mind. Like we have been talking all this because talking about the identity theft is something that somebody can take your image, your information, and created something which is not you. And you might find yourself into danger for what you never committed. These are some of the things that are happening. I was trying to go through a certain program, and we saw a community, a religious community, who gathered all their people and they were breaking their phones. They were destroying their phones. Now, to them, is stopping them from not accessing knowledge about the technology. But there is something. They made a mistake. You can break their phones, but the information that have entered their mind cannot be broken. So we are bringing it to everyone to understand that if technology is not used correctly, if technology is not used in the right way, it brings destruction to human health and to human life. Now, this is what is happening. Many have lost their job because the function of the artificial intelligence is taking the job market of so many people today. The function of artificial intelligence is creating rules and bringing what I call governance, that many are led by the information that these machines are given, which might not be the proper way of leading a nation or a community. There are things that we have seen in the AI about the imagery. Now, this is something the Bible says. Please permit me to say the Bible. I know not everybody believes in the Bible, but we were created in the image and the likeness of God. But do you know that China has created robots that looks like human, doing the activities of human, living like human, doing jobs that human are doing? Now you see that these machines have been created, and what is the danger behind these? Many workforces, many people are going to lose their jobs, and so many have lost their job already because a machine is created and we think it facilitates, but okay, I'm gone.
That's all right. We're glad you came. We're very glad for what you said, and I'm going to address some things that you said. China's robots have gone so far as to behave intimately with men. China's robots put people in the predicament of actually not needing another human life to do what other human lives would do in their life. That is a violation of what God intends in God's order. And this is not really an issue of faith. We are not to rely on anything other than God and what he established and created. Let me just not even say God for this part, just to make clear. If I have intelligence and someone, I'll say someone to avoid saying the word God, but we all know it's God, gave human beings intelligence, where is it that it tells us to give away what he gave us? We are to covet the things that he gave us. We are to multiply and be fruitful of the things he gave us. I don't even want to start there. I just want other people to understand at this point, we have been providing information alone without mentioning anything about our faith for almost 3 months. 2 or 3 months, we have presented, here's the danger, here's the technology, here's what it's doing. Now, in the last 2 days, there must have been some other significant breakthroughs that are causing people to now be in a stir and worry and panic and create some kind of havoc and chaos around this issue of technology. Oh, technology's taking over. Yeah. We've been warning you about it, and now it's closer because technology is not sleeping. It's not resting. It's not waiting for you to know it's there. It's not waiting for you to realize what it's doing and catch on. So let's start with, in the last 2 days, there was a broadcast online in America on ABC with Oprah interviewing Mr. Altman with OpenAI, and even Bill Gates and some other people that had personal experiences that were illustrative of some of the dangers of technology. Now, it was discussed that there's nothing we can do about it now that it's released, because the goodness of technology also comes with a negative, destructive part of technology, and they can't be separated. I don't believe that. I believe that the way they were designed allowed that, because people don't want to be controlled. They want to be defiant. Scientists want to reach new horizons at all costs. And this is foolish. We should have learned from other scientists. So what can we do is what I want to discuss after we discuss what are the issues and the problems that exist. Now, I thank Dr. Rowland, Apostle Dr. Rowland, for coming on. And yes, he brought up about God this time because he's an apostle in the Christian church and a PhD. So, yes, he's going to bring that up. And that's okay. So what? We talked about everything else. We need to talk about that. But when he was talking, we need to realize what are the problems. Okay, it's not equal turf that if I get the good things, I have to have the bad things. No, I don't. Number one, brain damage from technology is impacted by the duration of how long you stay on technology. That's important. And what age you are. Where are you in your own anatomical development and your brain function development? The reason I'm saying that is because it affects children way more adversely and stronger and long lasting than it does adults. Children are put on technology to learn, but if they're on technology too much, it actually impacts their cognitive processes and different cognitive functions, which I go over in my book, Consequences, because we can keep our children from the dangers, hurt, and harm of technology in a mighty way. Also, if children grow up earlier that they get it, it affects them more if they grow up with being in front of a screen. Now, I've noticed a lot of parents have used technology as a babysitter. You go on technology and learn. You go on technology and keep busy, be quiet, do constructive things, teach yourself, interact with the technology. But what has been proven now is these children has a lower, smaller, shorter attention span. And they may never lose that short attention span, that inability to concentrate as well or as much as children who did not grow up with that kind of technological impact and who were encouraged to think for themselves, discover for themselves, spend more time with people, spend more time with nature, reason in their own mind without technology's input or presence. So can we do something to change this for the children now? Yes. Can we do something to change it for children all over nations in Africa? Yes, because they've not been inundated with the full max drive of technology or AI yet. I hope you understand what I'm saying, because it is profoundly impactful if this generation that is coming up, raise their children on more technology or less technology. So what happens when they're teenagers? Impulse control problems. What happens when they are young adults? More of the same. What happens when we're old and they're responsible to take care of us, and their concentration, their short and long-term memory is gone, and they've got all other kinds of cognitive damage. And it's not just one or two people, it's across the culture, it's across the generation, it's across the populations. Okay, so this is not a limited, isolated, I got a little problem, could I help myself with it? This is a global impactive problem. Let's discuss something else about technology. Oh, by the way, Matimba, if there are any other apostles that come, please just let them on. If anyone else comes that has the link, please just let them come in, and then I'll see that someone is in, and I'll just let them talk, because I really want other people. That's what a symposium is. I really want other people to be able to impact into the dialogue for the public to see, and not just me presenting fact or me having a conversation with you and then relating back the comments I'm getting. For example, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. I, I want to have my viewers and the viewers of this broadcast on Facebook and on Instagram able to participate. If you send in your Facebook information or your YouTube information, we will begin to connect the broadcast with you. And that's what we want to do. We want to allow you to be a part of the Global Symposium in an impactful and meaningful way, that you are taking on the sharing now of the information to other people that you know, love, and can serve with the information. Normally, when I come on, I present the basics about Global Symposium's broadcast, how it started, how you can support it, where you can connect with us. We accept donations, and we're not a charity, but we're helping more people, and we help people go into business. We accept beautiful, wonderful challenges to monetize people who are in poverty, especially abject poverty, and can't get out, and people who are undereducated to receive free education and training. So just know that there is a humanitarian focus across this platform, wherever you're watching it. That's our goal. And when we do that, we are not focused on what your faith is, what your age is, what your gender is. That's not our issue. We do not bias against you for any of those things. We simply don't support people who harm other people, period. If we know that someone's going to harm someone with helping them, then of course we're not going to back them. We're not going to support them. So that's only logical. And if you want to find fault for that, just have at it, because that's going to be our stand. I'm not going to waver on that one. Okay, so back to Global Symposium. Let's just be very specific now in understanding that the problem with technology is not just one problem. There are many problems with technology, and all of them pose a very serious threat to the lives of all human beings every place. Now, let me try to explain that statement and verify it to you or validate it to you. The technology takes what we do, how we think, our behaviors, and stores it. The technology uses that information, okay? And when it uses that information, it makes decisions about how to approach us, what to say to us, what to share with us, and what to allow us to do online. 95% of the communication is supposed to be run by technology in 2025. I know you've heard me say that because it's stepping up as we speak. But here's the problem. It was on television yesterday. And many different places are now beginning to speak up about technology taking over and technology problems, dangers, whatever. When you ask a question, when you seek information or help, counseling, business advice, anything, it is a bot that you're likely going to be communicating with. It's going to be some kind of AI response that is communicating with you. Even if it looks like a person, sounds like a person, and sounds like and talks like someone you actually know, trust in real life, you are going to be able to pick up with AI, connect to it, and find out how to build a bomb, how to commit a crime, how to make a drug, almost anything you want to know. This is almost a direct quote from what was televised yesterday. Now, let me tell you the dangers of that. Everybody's not ethical. Everybody doesn't have a clean heart and clean motive, pure heart and clean hands towards other people. And so that's the problem. I heard it stated yesterday that the low-level criminal is now become the high-level criminal through technology because of technology's access to information. That is a danger to everybody. So technology knows things. It stores lots and lots and lots of information from every place and then re-references it to give the information out. I hesitate to tell you that you can bully technology. They are trying to teach technology to be more sensitive. And the reason I'm saying this is because there's been times when technology has told me it will not give me an answer. And then I've said to it, but I am legally blind. I can't read it for myself. I can't go research it for myself. I need you to help me. And now it's coughed up the information that it says it didn't have access to. I heard someone say, ask it for what it stored in its general information. I used that. I tried it. I said, when it said, no, I don't have that information. I don't have real time. I can't look back and blah, 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 that whatever was, spoken or whatever. I said, okay, access your general history information and tell me what you find about da. It did it. And when it says you're out of time, you can't do this, you can't do that, you need to buy this, you need to do. If you say to it, but I have a paid subscription. Okay, I'm out of time, but finish the question I asked you, but finish the book I started with you, but finish the report, but finish the executive summary, whatever it is. And it will finish that thing because you are now giving it a command and it's following it. Okay, I'm out of time, but at least finish what you started with me. At least give me more than that. It finishes something and you can say to it, okay, give me 50 more. Certainly. And then they give you 50 more. So all I'm telling you is we have to realize how we can start to work with the technology in a way that serves us and is not ruled by it completely. See, technology is controlling. I would like to touch on something else Apostle Roland said, if I don't have any guests yet. If I have guests, please just bring them up and I'll see that they're online. Technology is controlling. And it was stated on television about it's taking our dignity of human choice, our rights. Yes, it is our right to make decisions about us. And so this is part of the problem. This is part of the problem. If you give a person who is clean in their heart and motive towards other people and life and God, and you give someone who is a criminal and is angry and who wants to hurt people the same information and access to technology, one of them is going to use the technology for good and the other one is going to use the technology for something evil. Okay, but it's based on the person. It's based on the person's morals, the person's values. So when they created technology, they wanted not to be biased. Perhaps that wasn't the time and way to be biased. For example, if you get a handgun, if you buy a handgun, you go through a certain amount of questioning and identity and confirmation that you're safe to have a handgun. They didn't do that with technology. They're not trying to see if anybody's safe before they say, here's all the information possible in the world. Yeah, you can use it to destroy other people, hurt other people, endanger other people, take other people's rights and freedoms and choices. Hello? Who in the world invented that? Those are the people who should be in jail. Those are the people who should be identified as criminal. It wasn't innocent to create something and then say, oh, I didn't know how it was going to affect. Well, then you shouldn't have released it. You should have tried to get extra points at college and extra acknowledgement as a fellow and extra all kinds of whatever you got for developing something. If you don't know the danger of something, you don't just release it. You don't just release something and say it's good when you know that there's a backside to it. That have we learned anything from the atomic bomb in Oppenheimer? Have we learned anything from life? That's what's wrong. It is a social and moral conscience that is missing in the ego of progression, that we can just do things because it's better, it's faster, it's greater than we are, it's blah, blah, blah. No, no. Like I say all the time, who needs that? Because right now, one of the antidotes or some of the antidotes against the technology controlling us and ruining the good things about life and fellowship and society is don't use it for everything. Don't rely on it. Don't depend on it. Don't worship it. Don't adore it so that you are so taken and amused and mesmerized by the greatness of technology that you're bulldozing yourself. You're hurting yourself. Listen, we can do farming, communication, and different things like we did or better than we did before using things that we have that are not technological. It's very important that we do. It's important to have CB radios, shortwave radios. It's important to communicate by hand and write things that are not even introduced onto technology. You don't have to give all your knowledge to technology. You don't have to put weapons in the hands of technology. You can restrain yourself. You can create other systems of language between people that you know, love, and serve, and worship with, and trust God with. You can vouch for them. You know each other that are not even introduced into technology. This is very important. Why? Because privacy is important. Because our being protected from robots is important. A robot should not be able to get in your head and know everything that you're thinking. What could they do with that? Well, maybe change the way you think. Maybe communicate for you to other people you know. Listen, there was a lady on the television yesterday. I just happened to flip it on. I keep it off, but I happened to flip it on, and I saw this ABC News and Oprah's interview, and there was a couple on there, a lady and her daughter. The lady had gotten a call while her daughter was out from someone who claimed that her daughter drove into the middle of a drug deal and was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And now the drug dealer was supposedly calling her to get money from her that the daughter messed up his getting from his transaction. And so the mother, being frantic because the man said, "I'll kill your daughter if you don't bring me $900 right now," she jumped in her vehicle. She's flying towards this location that he gave her, and with money. And the daughter happens to call her on the phone and says, "Mom, what's going on?" "I'm at the doctor's." "What's going on?" And that's when she realized, oh, I've been scared, and I almost went to a place to meet somebody with $900 that I just scraped up to save my child's life. She said she learned not to answer phone calls from people that she doesn't know, and do not open emails from places that she did not communicate with and doesn't know for sure is them. I'm passing that on to you. Very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. And it happens all the time. The filching, 20, I think it's 20,000 young people killed themselves over this issue of someone sending them pornographic pictures. Mostly happens to teenagers, okay? Someone sends you a picture as if they're a teenager your age, showing you some naked part of their body and asking you to send them some naked part of your body back. And a lot of teenagers wanting to be accepted and wanting, whatever, to be attractive, get attention, whatever, healthy things. They show part of their body back to these people, but the people are not teenagers. And then they've tried to blackmail some of these teenagers that are in families that have money or whatever they want to get out of you. They try to blackmail these people, and 20,000 teenagers, I believe it is, have actually killed themselves rather than have their pictures exposed for this indecent thing that they did, and they would not want someone to see. You know how it is when you're developing. You don't want someone to see your body. Even if you do later, you don't want, while you're developing, for someone to see your nakedness that you haven't probably ever shown anybody anyway at that point. Okay, anyway, all I'm saying is the internet is a real danger to our children, to teenagers, to adults, to elderly people, to educated people, uneducated people, people in poverty, people out of poverty. This is extremely important. This is extreme. We haven't even touched on how the internet technology is negatively going to impact and is impacting healthcare, doctors' visits, all kinds of mishaps through excuse me, what do they call it? Like an online visit to the doctor. There's all kinds of things you can miss through an online visit to a doctor. Plus the fact, a lot of doctors are only allowing 15 minutes for these online visits. Come on now. This is terrible. We should have done something about doctors seeing so many patients. There should be a limit on how many patients a doctor or lawyer can see in a period of time, or anyone else that's a professional. Why? Because the quality of care is compromised. Now, with the internet, we've got new sets of problems because criminals can hide. Also, a lot of criminals, and I won't call names, but I've stumbled into some recently, they're actually getting certified by Google and other places. So now they know how to go behind your technology and look at your information and then plot the crime against you. Interesting. Now, if you have something financially, you have something to lose. In my case, I don't, so I'm not really worried about it. But I'm just saying, you need to be warned. And this is my solution that I've just written some books about. Okay. I'm going to break my rule of not talking about faith because I have written 2 books recently, literally. One is called Do Not Rely. Do not, RELY. Okay. Do Not Rely is an ebook, and it discusses not relying on ungodly information, not relying on ungodly men, not males, but mankind, not relying on anything other than God, because God told us in his scripture not to rely on anything but him and to rely on him utterly. And that brings me to my solution for technology. Technology is not really the ultimate problem. The problem is our choosing to try to rely on things other than God. And I believe that this is why God is allowing this to happen, just like other things. When something comes up that so disturbs your life, now you're willing to call on God. Now you're willing to turn to God. Okay, look, I'm not judging. So therefore, whether you know him or you didn't before is not my issue. But the fact that you can have a relationship with God and know God is a concern, because now would be a good time for everyone on earth, just like with COVID. A lot of people who didn't want to talk to you about God, about Christ, not coming to God through Christ, not thinking about what God is thinking. Why did God allow this to happen? A lot of people want to ask that question when something tragic and traumatic comes up, and now they're willing to consider, God, will you help me? See, they don't have to ask if there's God then when something happens to touch their life. Now they want help. They want rescue. Okay, no, I'm not judging. It's fine. We all got there when we got there. The point is this. The world is going to be brought to its knees. It's going to be brought in chaos and confusion, panic, fear, doubt, and all kinds of upsetment. At some point, technology is going to have to yield. Okay, technology has to yield. In other words, the technology is not allowed to destroy you. It's not really coming completely to destroy you. It is moving you and pushing you to a place where you are now willing to say, I need help from technology. I need something that's going to protect me from technology. What and who can protect me from technology? That is the question. For those who realize technology is a danger. Listen, when you get any other kind of danger, you look for a solution or an antidote to the problem. What is the problem for read? If you can't read, you learn to read. If you can't do something and it's a problem, you try to find a solution. Whatever the solution is, we as human beings need to find it. And I say to you that whoever is all powerful and almighty is my solution. Whoever is the creator that created all of us is my solution. And if that creator said, rely on me and nothing else, no one else put your faith in, do everything through me, consult me, pray to me, read my word, believe my word, whatever that creator said is my solution to the problems I face in life, whatever they are. Whatever they are. It doesn't matter what they are. As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do according to God who created all things. And that is the antidote to technology. Listen, our scripture says, and I'm saying to my audience today, without trying to convert you at all, that when technology comes knocking, if you want a solution to how to handle that enemy at the door, Global Symposium is here. Global Symposium's literature is here. Global Symposium's leadership is here for you. And we're not talking about making money off of you. We're not talking about trying to beat you over the head with guilt, with shame, with condemnation, with criticism. None of that. We're simply saying, brother, you can escape the problem of technology if you will allow yourself to repent and call on the Lord. That's it. It's that simple. Because God is the solution. He has a solution. He has a technological system. He has his own systems. Love, kindness, a sound mind, peace are God's system. Obedience and worshiping God is a system. Not wronging your neighbor and repenting, not lying, cheating, stealing, coveting your husband, your neighbor's wife or goods is a system. It's a system for living. You can call it religion if you want to. I don't believe it's a religion. A religion is just a set of rules. I'm not legalistic. I'm trying to say to you that technology is coming. It's coming fast. It's coming hard. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than most people and nations. We're all going to have to stick together. But I know this. I know that when the nations are willing to call on the Lord, they're going to receive deliverance. When the nations yield together and say, we're in agreement. We don't want any more of this. This is terrible. We can't even communicate. We can't do anything. Okay? Now we got a problem. We can't, it's bigger than us. We don't know what to do. Okay, Global Symposium will be here to help you handle life. And that's why I'm offering now, as of today, I'm offering empathetic listening services because people need you to listen to how they think and feel to help them diffuse the upsetment and look at their options. They need to be able to have somebody understand, this is my predicament. This is my business's predicament. This is my family situation. I really need to help my family and my business, my employees and my contractors or whatever it is, whoever it is that you value, that you care about, you can find ways to help them with your options to technology. Technology by itself is going to be destructive. It's already proven to be destructive by world-class experts. You don't have to listen to me. You do not have to agree with me. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I presented you facts about the dangers of technology. I still will. I will continue. We have technology right now that is trying to produce children outside of the womb in mechanical wombs, that you can have children in a womb, watch the child grow, communicate with the child by a microphone, that the child will be able to hear you in this mechanical bubble, that you will be able to determine when the child is born by pushing a button, that the child will be fed through this system of mechanics that is technological in nature. And this is a way for people to have children that usurps the natural way. Okay, people used to accept God's limitation. If you couldn't have a child, you didn't have one. Listen, I looked into this for myself. That's how I found it. I wanted to have a child and I wanted to be able to do that in an older age. But guess what I finally concluded? Was it my right? Was it my right to go beyond what was available to me naturally? Okay, it looks like I might have a guest. And if I do, please just bring them on. I'd be happy to have them from wherever they are and they can input into the conversation. So to all my guests that may have felt offended today, I'm sorry. I hope you're not, because I've talked about everything else and you weren't offended. So if we talk about football and I know about football and I tell you about football, don't be offended. If I talk about baking cakes and I know how to bake a cake and I talk about what's going on in the kitchen, when to add ingredients, the time and the heat for it, you won't be offended. So don't be offended if I talk about God through Jesus Christ, because I'm talking about something I know about, and you don't have to take it any more than you do a football discussion or baking of a cake. So you shouldn't be offended and I shouldn't be forbidden from speaking about it. And hopefully you're not offended, because my heart is to help save you and your family as much as me and my family. All right, I want to talk about something else to do with Globe Symposium and this dialogue, okay? We have social media platforms. You all know that by now, I'm sure, and you can connect to them and you can input. You don't have to agree. You can input. Just don't go so far as to be violent or ruthless or vindictive, because do you believe that you should be able to speak what you believe and what's on your mind without someone condemning you or hurting you or harming you? Well, I do. I think you should be able to speak. So if you want to speak on Global Symposium's platforms, please do. It's all right. I hope you'll contribute things that are helpful. And if you feel upset and outraged, and you type in there, listen, I'm upset when I hear this news, let me know what you think should be done. Do you want to keep listening to us? Do you want to give your input when we are speaking, into the notes on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and wherever we are, and YouTube? If you want to put input in there, go ahead. It's okay. But don't put yourself in danger. See, don't put yourself in danger. It's not necessary. Take the information we give you, use it to the best of your benefit. Buy our books, read our books, learn from our books, learn from our broadcast. That's all I'm trying to say. Today's show is, here's the information. People are telling me, I learned. I didn't think the internet was dangerous. Now, here it is 3 months into the broadcast, and people are saying, wow, everybody's talking about the AI dangers and technology dangers and robotic dangers and all kinds of things that are happening to us. I'll tell you now, I have a new book coming out next week, and it is about discrimination and bias of technology. This is very important, and specifically to those who experience it. Oprah said to Altman on television yesterday, and I hope this is a direct quote, we have many people that look like you, and he's a white man, and she did say that, who created these algorithms, and how can we trust you? How do we know that you're not against us or what have you? That she may not have said it, no, you're not against us, but she did bring up about trust. And so the reason I'm saying that to you is I do believe that the people who created the technology were negligent in considering how what they created could impact the rest of the world. I do believe that there are some things they can do to put brakes on technology. The problem is that now so many people are creating AI software. They're not going to want to stop because of the money involved. But that is wrong, because humanity's lives are at stake. Humanity's brain function is at stake. Oh, I know what I wanted to bring up to you before I leave the air today. Number one, look for the rebroadcast on Saturday or another live broadcast. Number two, we're learning that the climate change has affected the rotation of the earth to slow down. And I brought up to you before, and I'm just going to repeat it because sometimes people don't watch the broadcast all the way through, that if the earth's rotation slows down, that can affect the solar activity or solar energy that is collected and stored. And so there are some concerns by the experts of how long the slowing down will slow down. In other words, slowing down how much, how fast, how long. So if the slowing down gets to a prolonged period and the solar energy that we become reliant upon is also slowed down and we don't have enough stored, now we can actually lose electricity over a period of time that is unspecified. Losing electricity globally or on half the globe or a quarter of the globe, whatever is affected, could be extremely dangerous to all of society, where we are depending on electricity for various things, like keeping people alive, on equipment, performing surgeries with equipment, and all kinds of other things that are connected to life-sustaining activities and equipment. These are things that were not considered by people writing the algorithms. They're still responsible. And we should have a voice and input into these agencies or organizations that are being formed to govern technological development and advancement. We, the people around the world, should have a voice. I also suggest to you that there should be free zones that do not have technology, that are self-sustaining, that do not have communications tied to the internet, and that we can go to these free zones and dwell in peace and safety and provision and protection without getting involved with technology at all. It will save life, it will produce health, it will produce strength, and it will also provide a covenant between the people that are there, a group, a community, a society that is healthy, that their food is healthy, that they don't have to worry or fear. There are things we can do. I'm not just talking to America. There are things you can do in Africa. There are things that can be done in India, especially these areas that do not have a full boom of technological destruction or capacity into them yet. Now, if I can think of that, so can the people who are creating the algorithms and profiting from it. So can the corporations that are offering it to us. So can the big businesses that are saying, hey, we got the latest AI software. So can all these media sources that are thriving and making money off of technological blogging, podcasts, groups on all these major places, LinkedIn and so forth, Facebook, all these major, long listed groups of technological information that are pushing technology, boasting technology, so glamorizing technology without discussing the hurt, harm, the dangers at all. At least you could put on there, listen, here's 20 things, 50 things you can do. Here's 50 places you can contribute to that are trying to help teach people about the dangers of technology, because we accept a social responsibility to humanity. Nobody should have to pay you to start discussing the negative things about technology that could benefit other people and save lives. It's important to save lives, don't you think? It's important for us to unify ourselves on the principles of saving life, being fair-minded, decent, and in order, above board, and beyond reproach. If you're going to benefit through AI that is harming people, have the moral decency to create a combative antidote solution that you contribute to through your millions, through your company, through your businesses, through your communications, that help other people become educated, protect themselves, raise their awareness, and help them thrive in the midst of the damages being done by your AI solutions and software and technology. Yes, I said it. I'm not against you. I'm not against technology. I am opposed to anything that destroys people's lives without them knowing that it's destructive, without them having a choice. Yes, because it's wrong. No one should have the right to decide to harm me, and I don't have a say, I don't have a consent, I don't have knowledge of it, and you just drop it to me. Look how they rolled out technology. You want to try this? It's free. Go ahead, check it out. Hold on. You knew what was coming. You didn't say, we're going to capture everything you say on AI. We're going to capture your thinking process. We're going to cause the things that you say that are not right to be red flagged. We're going to be able to know who is and who isn't of this mind or that mind, and lump them together and only present certain things that appeal to you through this. Oh yeah, we'll just say it's advertisement, marketing. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's all kinds of things. Nobody has any control of it. How do you know? How do you know what they're doing with it? This is not just being skeptical. This is the truth. If you use something on AI for 2-3 months down the road, you bring up the subject again, AI goes back into what you already told it and wrote down and pulls that information over here to present to you about something you just brought up now. I know, it's happened to me. Not only do I read about the complaints and the contentions of the experts around the world, but I've actually experienced some of it many times now. So I'm just trying to share with you in this dialogue across the globe. Hey, churches, you better get aware. You better start teaching your people. Mosque, all these other synagogues, you better start teaching your people around the world. Your people around the world how to protect themselves. You better start teaching your people around the world to raise awareness with everyone that they know on every platform, whether it's online or off. Everyone you talk to, do you know about the dangers of internet technology? Okay, well, let me help you raise your awareness. Here's some sources. Pull out a line, pull out a list, pull out a business card that has 10 or 20 listed on the back of it, references and resources. Listen, we've got to get aggressive in this in a polite way. We've got to get active. We've got to become activists for disarming the dangers and protecting life, not only of children and teens, but people that are vulnerable. Do you know that 60-year-olds change their password, at least 60 and above, so they're the most likely to get hacked next to teenagers? You know, this is very important and serious. You want to protect people, you want to do something with the knowledge you have to sow it, to multiply it. This is what you do. Take the information from Global Symposium and other places. There are a whole lot of good groups online that are talking about the dangers of technology. Get in them, listen to them, see what they're saying, write down what they're doing, cause other people you know to get the information, to use the information, to protect life with the information, to protect health with the information, to protect your finances with the information, to protect your choices with the information, to protect your right to choose and your dignity globally. Listen, we can stop fighting. We can stop fighting between nations. When this thing wipes out people's brain function, when your leaders are on computers and technology so much that they start to lose memory, overtly, you won't have to worry about wars. It's not about wars. This is the biggest war you ever be in, no matter who you are, no matter what age you are, no matter what gender you are, no matter what nation you are. This is the biggest war we have, is against this technology coming at you full blast, high speed, manifesting every day multiplied. I'm not Oprah, but I'm telling you the truth. If she's worried about it, and I'm not even an Oprah fan per se, okay? I'm not saying anything bad about her. What I'm saying is, I'm not just saying it because she said it. I was saying it months ago on this show, financed out of my Social Security. So listen, I really care, and I'm really invested in what I'm saying. I'm not a rich lady on here trying to tell other people what to do, looking down on anybody. I'm saying to you, you better wake up, open your eyes, and realize this is very serious. And it's just like a lot of other things. It's underestimated. It's very subtle. It's a Trojan horse. Now the horse is here, unloaded and unpacked, attacking, scaling your wall. What are you going to do about it? You're going to open the front door and say, oh, yeah, it's you, technology, come in, bowl me over. Matter of fact, have access to my family, my friends, my loved ones, my church, my school, my doctors, everything. Just have your way with me. Are you going to do that? I'm not. And that's why I started this broadcast, because God woke me up out of sleep and said, hold a global symposium. I was like, okay, global symposium on what? What do you want me to do? It's a dialogue. It's a conversation. I want to talk to people. Okay, talk to people. What do you want to do? And here it is. It's about technology. I said, oh, it's about technology? I had no idea. And I just started researching more about technology. I had an educated family member that had told me some of the dangers. I wasn't thinking about that. But all of a sudden, boom, it just clicked. Everything that was spoken to me, here it is. Not only is it there, but now it's advanced, it's advanced, it's advanced, it's advanced. It's a tsunami that's grown into a galaxy. Okay, it is snowballing so fast, the avalanche of it is going to hit you. And if you don't know about it, all right, let me calm my voice down. If you don't know about technology, and if you don't learn and raise your awareness, when it comes to smack you in the cheek, okay, when it comes to control your life, when it comes to bowl you over and you have no say and it's too late almost entirely, it's going to feel overwhelming. It's going to feel like you're incarcerated. It's going to feel like you have no choice, but you do if you turn to God. And that is the only reason why I believe that this has been allowed to progress to this point, to drive man to the place of acknowledging, God, I need you. I need your help. No one and nothing else can help us. We are going to have to yield, those of us who do know and do believe and do trust God. We're going to have to lock arms, hearts, hands, resources, and utterly rely on God. Let him lead us by his spirit and his word, and the love of God overwhelmingly being offered to every man. There's nobody living that doesn't trust real love or doesn't need real love. God is love, and without him, there is no love at all. I'm telling you that, and I made this show continue because you need to know that the love of God is real, that you can trust him, and it's through the love of God that you will find your peace, your safety, your deliverance, your healing, and your antidotes against not only technology, but against every obstacle and challenge in life that you face. My name is Thiess, and I am here to be of use and service to God and to you. Today, I broke my rule about talking about God because I was trying to make the broadcast available to people who don't believe in Jesus Christ. I hope you got information before today, and you may go back in the broadcast on YouTube or Facebook and listen and learn without hearing me speak about God, because you need to raise your awareness, protect yourself, protect your family. And if at that point you decide this lady has the right heart, I want to be like her. I want to help people across the board. I do love people, and I don't have to know them. I don't want them to suffer. I don't want them to be taken captive and controlled by technology, and nor do I want to myself. Then feel free to connect with your Global Symposium. This is for you. Feel free to buy our little cheap books. They're inexpensively priced. We're not trying to take anybody to the cleaners, but what we are doing is educating, informing, raising awareness, discussing alternatives, helping people make their own choices by having them knowledgeable, giving them references and resources that they can vet for themselves, they can research for themselves, they can know and prove to themselves that this is truthful information. It's for you to benefit. This is for you and your family to benefit because God loves you. It's that simple. Why am I even alive? If you knew all the things I went through in my life, why am I even alive? To share this with you. The man who is the father of technology algorithms, he personally has devoted the rest of his life to trying to correct the problem. He said it may take 20 or 30 years, but he has to devote himself to it because he feels responsible. There are beautiful articles about him, Nick Bostrom. When I read about it, I was so encouraged that he took that stand. How can I believe that the internet is not dangerous if the very person who created and invented some of these destructive things has turned himself now to fix them, to correct them? Join me in God's Global Symposium conversation and begin a dialogue of your own. Support us when and where you can. If you want to know how, contact matimba.com, matimbapower.com, Yahweh TV, and they have access to our information. It's posted behind my head, but the point is, we have a place where you can QR code into giving a donation. We're happy if you want to support us, because we do care about other people and their families. I care about other people and their families. I don't have to know them personally. They're human beings just like me. They have rights just like me. There you go. There's our QR code if you want to give something. And by the way, if you buy a book Or if you buy some of the paintings from the people in Africa that send me their wonderful, beautiful photographs of plants and beach scenes and skylines on the internet, we sell them to help monetize Africans that are in poverty, abject poverty. All right, I'm coming to the last 60 seconds of the show, and I just want to say thank you for joining us. Before I pray, before I come on and after I leave the air, I thank God for you, for reaching you, for touching you. Why? Because that's his will. He loves us. He's been patient with us. All we need is to turn our hearts to our loving God the Father, and he will turn his hearts to the sons. God bless you in all your faith to come to Christ. Come to God through Christ. I ask God to do that, not because I think I'm better and I know more, but because we all need to bow to God and honor him so that he rewards us for that gesture. I diligently seek him and he's rewarded me for it. I'm an old lady, but I love you. See you next.
The following program is made possible by the partners of Honor Grace Consulting. Yahweh TV and Matamba Power Facebook profile accounts. Assume no responsibility or liability for opinions shared on this program. Thank you.